tardes, estimada familia. My name is Alberto Rodriguez. I'm a chemical engineering student, professional chair, and running for your next president external. As a first generation student, I came into college knowing nothing. I started from scratch, and from there I made a lot of mistakes. I have a true passion for my major, but when I walked into my first engineering career fair with nothing but a phone on my hand with half of my resume showing to recruiters, I knew that I had to step up my game. That's when I found SHPE. My attention was caught when I saw Mr. Rolando's, one of his GMs that had a hot Cheeto theme with Frito-Lay, and I was encapsulated. I saw it and I knew I had to go. I went for the professional development, and of course, as you all know, I stayed for the familia. That made me want to continue being in SHPE. I went ahead and joined SHPE's CFC committee, in which I had hands-on experience with organizing and executing career fair events, such as the resume critique, mock interview, and most importantly, the career fair. From there on, I developed from volunteer to shadow, assistant, and now your professional chair, where I host events for professional development for our 350 plus members here, and I also work closely with our VPE to get more connections. For me, I have 3 goals that I want to implement. One is having more site tours, because I feel like once we're there, we can see the professional world, what it's really like, and the actual impact that us engineers have outside of our degree. Second of all, I would like to implement more corporate diversity and inclusion, more corporate involvement in our events. So, having more involvement with kind of like athletic and academic and more events like that. Third of all, I would want to implement a kind of like capstone showcase. So the entire year, students have worked hard on their capstones, and I would want them to be behind the booth instead of the recruiters. Them to talk about their technical skills and just have outside of the resume. I hope you see my passion for wanting to help and consider me for your next Vice President external.
Hi Alberto, I'm going to be asking the first question. And one of the jobs of VP is to bring more companies to the chapter. And like you mentioned, you want to bring more diversity to the chapter. So can you give me a 60-second pitch to sell me SHPE a potential sponsor?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd go up to them, be like, hello, my name is Alberto Rodriguez, junior chemical engineering major at the University of Houston. I represent SHPE-UH, which is one of the largest engineering organizations that we have here on campus, where we have a lot of professional development events, and just overall wanting to connect with more companies. I see, and I want to learn more about how you handle your recruitment program, and I would love to keep in touch so that way we can continue building a relationship. What's your LinkedIn? Yeah, that's it.
I'll kick off the rest of the questions. Thank you for your interesting position, Alberto. My question to you is, in my experience as VPE, I realized that a lot of the time companies won't choose one of the prizes on the sponsorship package, right? But while you're there in that opportunity, you want to make sure that you make the most of their engagement. How will you make sure that if a company is not willing to pay for a specific package or maybe no money at all, that you make the most of that engagement?
Yeah, no, that's a very good question, because I mean, our organization, we do need money to keep surviving, and there's also the trade-off of having the corporate engagement. So I would turn this into an opportunity of negotiation with them. If a company isn't really agreeing with one of our packages, I don't want to lose them. We want to have them. Our members matter a lot. So what I would refer is maybe kind of like a different type of tier of package, so we can still have their involvement, or maybe even have a kind of like separate, I'm not very sure, but like separate event where they could still show up, but not really or just show up there for the members, just to networking one-on-one with students, and not really an event like that. But that's how we kind of do it.
As VPE, what opportunities do you see to help increase the exposure of SHPE-UH?
Definitely. So, some opportunities that I see that could help increase exposure is really just getting out there, increasing networking with other people. We're 3 people away from knowing just anybody on this world, and expanding from. I know I'd like to continue going outside the borders of SHPE-UH and reaching out to Houston professionals, attending networking events with the region 5. And then also going beyond there and pitching SHPE-UH at nationals. So I feel like there's different tiers, and that's something that I really want to implement as for me, for my term.
So this is more as, first of all, really great seeing you running for VPE. So my question is more of like a situational one. Let's say that you have 2 companies that are coming up to you, and both of them really want to host this big event like Día o Noche de Ciencias. Let's say company A is like a loyal company that has been with SHPE-UH supporting for like many years, but company B, since you're talking about diversifying the companies that we bring, is like a brand new company that is gonna partner for the first time, but both of them come to you and tell you, I want to host Día o Noche de Ciencias. Which company do you pick to be the one hosting the event, or like how do you go about approaching the situation?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the differences again?
Yeah, so pretty much like you have one that has been with UH for years, like the loyal company that has been supporting the chapter for years. But then the option B is like the company who is like new for the first time ever. They want to do like a partnership with the chapter. But then you have that goal of like, I want to diversify. So it's like, which one are you picking, like the loyal or like the new one, just because it's like a new company partnership?
Well, given that situation, I would prioritize the loyal one, and definitely there is benefit to having a new experimental one. However, I wouldn't keep them I wouldn't keep them away from us. Instead, what I would try to speak with our chairs to see if there's any new type of event or maybe something open on the event tracker in which we can fill them in and kind of see how that goes. And I don't want to lose any relationships with any companies, and that's kind of how I would